So what do you think your first impression of a young black male from Detroit would be?
It depends on how he's dressed.
Like what?
I'm a realist. I believe we do stereotype. It's not a right thing to do, but it's like a human nature type thing.
I would probably look at what he's wearing and stuff like that, just like your first impression of someone, see how tall he is, see the different characteristics, see how he treats me, to see, does he shake my hand, does he say hello, does he say what up, like what, how does he address me, how do I address him, first reactions.
Okay. What would be some of those ideas?
I think generally when we think about black males from Detroit, or for any black American, I think, from Detroit, we tend to think about them coming from situations of poor education or poverty, maybe living in neighborhoods with crime. And I myself know people, black Americans, who have come from Detroit, and that is their situation. But I also know many people who live in Detroit and in good neighborhoods, and that is not their situation. But I think in general that's the stereotype associated with it.
Do you think the media has anything to do with that?
Yes, I think the media has everything to do with it, especially now for people who are in a situation where they have received a very good education. So let's say that these are people who understand issues of being open and fair and just, and who very much believe that. I think those people are still affected by the media and the way that the media presents certain groups. And overall, I think that as progressive as we want to think that we are, when you look at the media right now, you do not see examples of other races, I think, besides white, that are not put in some role who is sort of designated and can only be played by that minority race. So you see sort of when there are minorities, and especially in really popular media, like sitcoms that are really popular right now, or movies that come out, big blockbuster kind of movies, you still, for the most part, see minorities playing this role that was sort of designed for a minority in a specific way. And I think that in and of itself sort of tries to put those people in one identity, and that's the only one that they can have.
So how do you think the media stereotypes and judge black people?
I think in general, if you look at especially black males in the media, whether you're looking at media as far as news media, or you're looking at print or TV or whatever it is, you see the image of all black males being urban, which isn't necessarily true, of being poor, involved in crime, drug dealers, and when you see that in the media over and over again, even though they present at the same time this front that we're very liberal and we want justice for everyone, then they turn, and the only stories that they tell about certain groups of people are those negative stories.
Okay.
Well, let me piggyback on the media. One thing I do notice about the media, and this is just something I notice, a lot of times when there's a suspect and it's pretty much a black suspect, they're quick to show or point out the race of the person or the perp that committed the crime. Or I notice when something more so happened in the suburbs, or if there's a Caucasian or Hispanic, they're kind of reluctant as far as saying, okay, pointing out the fact of their race or their ethnicity.
Okay. So do you think like any of that stuff, like with the what up and stuff like that, has to deal with like how the media portrays black people?
Absolutely.
Like, in like what way?
I mean, the just connotation of coming from Detroit has its own ghetto atmosphere, not atmosphere, just its stereotype. So is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. So like how exactly do you think the media stereotypes and judge black people in general?
Well, the media only shows, well, not only, but the media focuses on the negative aspects that happen in Detroit. And so when you watch TV and you see a lot of the negative things that are going on in Detroit, you associate Detroit with being negative rather than all the positive things that are occurring in Detroit.